Hi, my name is Haley Jensen, and I want to talk about data science. More specifically, how data science has helped to give insight to and to ease the current COVID-19 pandemic. You see, not many people know what data science is. To the average person, it sounds like a fancy way to say looking at data. Or at least that's what I thought at first. It is actually so much more complex than that.
Data science uses a set of algorithms, processes, and principles to interpret large sets of data.
Right now, more than ever, the world runs on data. There is data in everything that we as a society do, and companies are desperately trying to find people to interpret and translate just what that data is telling us.
Data is not just a set of random numbers. It's people's decisions, their commonalities, and their patterns.
Data tells a story. This world is only becoming more and more technologically advanced, which means more data is readily made available to interpret. Because of this, data scientists are sought after for a plethora of jobs, ranging from simple computer search history algorithms to predicting the pattern of a worldwide pandemic. So that leads us to my next point of discussion.
COVID-19. This is not an unknown topic. It is obviously very prevalent in the present time. COVID-19 is a worldwide airborne virus that has caused the world to go into panic mode and to shut down our normal functioning society. Many countries, companies, families, and individuals have greatly suffered due to the pandemic, whether or not they have been infected with the virus itself. People are losing their jobs, their stability, their patience. Everyone is just eager to go back to a semi-normal life at the very least. However, no one quite knows what to expect from COVID-19, which causes even more worry. There is no exact answer to when things will end or even when things will get better.
This is where data scientists come into play. As said before, data scientists analyze and interpret data to draw a big picture conclusion. The COVID-19 pandemic is perfect playing grounds for data interpretation. This is not the first time the world has experienced a pandemic.
For example, in the past, there's been the Black Plague, the Spanish flu, etc.
Because of these past pandemics, people like data scientists are able to use data from the past viruses to make assumptions about COVID-19. They are able to answer and address very critical questions and concerns.
So building onto that, we asked what are the different professions that have dealt with COVID-19? Very obviously, some of the professions are the first responders, there's doctors and nurses.
But what people don't know is that even the mathematicians and statisticians are in the front line. While they aren't as hands-on with saving people's lives, they still play a vital role.
Some different types of people that have helped with COVID-19 are epidemiologists, biostatisticians, and obviously data scientists.
All of these occupations are actually pretty close in description. Epidemiologists and biostatisticians are both stems of data scientists, but have slightly differing job descriptions.
In short, epidemiologists collect and analyze data to investigate health issues, and biostatisticians simply apply statistics to biology in various different ways, such as for medicine.
All of these occupations have played a crucial role in COVID-19 relief and information regarding how to handle the pandemic or what the future might look like. I want to talk more in depth on how the professions I discussed have helped COVID-19. So, how have they helped? Well, you know all the data you've been seeing, whether it be on TV, on Twitter, or just found from your own research. Where do you think that data came from? Data scientists. Since the very start of the outbreak, they have been non-stop working to collect as much possible information as they can to get a complete scope of the pandemic.
They know where COVID-19 started, how it spread, and where it spread to. It is vital that they have all this data so they can effectively form an analysis based off of the data. Epidemiologists have been the go-to data people during these times because this is quite literally their specialty. Because of them, we can safely assume what COVID will progress into and what our future looks like.
How can they possibly predict the future just off of a little bit of data, though? Well, that's an interesting point because they aren't just using COVID-19 data. They're actually using known data from many different pandemics, like the Black Plague or especially the Spanish flu, like I mentioned before.
Because of this data, epidemiologists can look at the track records and patterns of worldwide pandemics. For example, they have seen that it's typical for viruses to die off during warmer seasons, like summer, and flare up again during cold seasons, like winter. Interesting how we are seeing just that with COVID. It was all predicted by these data scientists. Another pattern they have noticed and predicted is something called herd immunity. That is basically when enough people contract the virus, then the virus tends to either kill itself or mutate into something as insignificant as a common cold so it can continue to live on. These data scientists are able to look at all this past data and help to make assumptions so the world isn't as in the dark and clueless as they would have been. And another obvious thing these data scientists have done in the midst of COVID is compile the data seen and made it readily usable for the public. All of the graphs and data fed to the public regarding death rates, infection rates, countries suffering, etc., have all been created from the collection and compilation of data made by these data scientists.
While they are an underrated group of people and even an unknown group of people, they have still played an incredibly crucial role in the COVID-19 outbreak. They have given answers to questions that determine life or death. They have given a slight feeling of peace to a scared and confused world. They have been able to collect so much sufficient data that it could possibly help in the future if ever experiencing another pandemic or virus outbreak as well. Now that leads us to our next and final point.
What does the future hold for data scientists? Well, there's a very promising answer for that. In the beginning, I mentioned how the world is evolving to run on data now more than ever. This trend will only continue.
I actually have the pleasure of knowing someone who works for MD Anderson Cancer Center, and I heard that they are now looking to have data scientists not only as its own department, but have them placed into every single department in the facility.
Data is in everything we do. When you browse something on the internet, data scientists work to see what you have searched and create tailored ads for you. When you purchase something, they then use that data to make future suggestions. When you go to the doctor with a sickness, they look at your age, the time of year, etc., to predict who the sickness infects, when it infects, and how it infects.
There are so many aspects of data science that it would take hours for me to list out. There is so much flexibility in this field that anyone is guaranteed to find at least one option for them. However, despite data science being such a sought-after profession, there aren't nearly enough people to actually fill these spots. The demand is only increasing for data scientists and will keep doing so as time goes on. This is good news if you decide to go this route in life. So now you should have a better understanding of not only data scientists and what they do, but more specifically how they have helped during this COVID-19 pandemic. They have played such a crucial role and are yet such an unknown helper. I will now leave you with one final sentiment, which is to go out and thank a data scientist because they don't get nearly enough recognition.